Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 217, released September 1980. Our price 75 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, please let me remind you, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the best way that you can support this channel and help it grow. So we're at like 1,200 subscribers, and I want to keep getting higher. So like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. What do you get? I mean, you get this show mostly, but I have a few things that I will send your way if you support me on patreon.com. These are the people that support me on Patreon today. Joey Gesso, Reflection of Perfection, Misimo, Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, oh shoot, let's get back over here. Mad Magazine number 217, this cover was done by Al Jaffee, which is nice. Wait a second, where am I? There I am. Now you might notice I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm back at work, and that means I'm back getting sick all the time. So I'm a little groggy, a little slow moving mentally, but I don't know, I think it'll be fine. Al Jaffee did this cover. If you want to follow along with me, you can go to madcoversite.com. Also, you can find it at crackedcoversite.com. I can't find my little screwdriver anymore. Must have lost it, so I'll have to use a pen. Or, I guess I could use a different screwdriver. Here we have a little message. Alfred E. Neuman for president. Why not? We could do a lot worse. For example, we could have Jimmy Carter, Ted Kennedy, George Bush, Ronald Reagan, John Connally, Philip Crane, Jerry Brown, Howard Baker, Sammy Davis Jr., Billy Martin, Donnie and Marie, Ed McMahon, Merv Griffin, Howard Cosell, Truman Capote, The Kiss, Gloria Steinem, Anita Bryant, Leon Spinks, Charo, Captain Klutz, Pete Potterseby, Arthur D. Plant, Rona Barrett, Rex Reed, King Kong, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, Trigger, Don Rickles, Kermit the Frog, Cookie Monster, Alice Cooper, Phyllis Diller, Chuck Barris, Jim Connors, John McEnroe, Archie Bunker, Colonel Sanders, Sonny Bono, Ryan O'Neal, Darth Vader, Hugh Hefner, William M. Gaines, or Melvin Kausanowski instead of Alfred E. Neuman for president. It's a mouthful. This is, I have in my living room the Mad Alfred E. Neuman for president poster that came with, I think, a super special. And here's something that is super special. Sorry, guys. Mad Magazine prevents. I bet they wish they prevented it, but they presented up the Academy, a comedy classic. It ain't a little too accurate in that description. Here's Jack Rickard did the poster for it, right? Certainly he did. Here's something. Robert Downey Sr. made this movie. So, and it was filmed in Panavision. I don't know. I'll be honest, I've never watched this movie, never saw it. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on much of anything. Of course, I love these, the suicide ads. Why kill yourself just because you missed the last issue at the newsstand? Subscribe to Mad Magazine and have it mailed to your home. The other one, the one letter that I really want to focus in on is this. I think this is the Jack Rickard cover. Was it? I might have to double check that. All right, double checking. Yes, it is Mad Magazine number 215, June 1980, and it's a Jack Rickard cover. Boy, Jack Rickard's getting a lot of screen time here today. And then here's a little man with two children. Um, Here we have Crymore versus Crymore, which pretty sure is that movie that I've never seen. Kramer versus Kramer, which I don't know. I assume it's about like some type of attorney or something. Can you spot all the references to Alfred E. Neuman for president? Because these things are tucked all over this. Here we have it right there. Vote Alfred E. Neuman for president. Again, not just in this movie parody. Send that to Kyle Bridget. Not just in this movie parody, but also throughout the entire magazine. Oh, I love that. I don't know why that was so amusing to me. It's a fun little illustration. Anyway, Mort Drucker killing it with, I don't know, who's this guy? With Meryl Streep and the guy from the other movie, Rain Man. Here's one that I wanted to spend a little time on. I always loved these. And they stopped doing these in this format. They started doing it in a little bit more convoluted way where they would pair words and images together. It would fill the page, but it just doesn't look as good and it's not as fun. I think this sort of Mad Lib style is just a better way of presenting this type of gag. So here is Mad's updated, relevant. Oh no, let me read the whole thing. Sorry, guys. One of the most popular patriotic songs of all time is America the Beautiful. Unfortunately, the words are simple and generalized and have all but lost their meaning in these troublesome times. What we need is a new America the Beautiful that has lyrics appropriate and relevant to the world we live in today. So here's your opportunity to rewrite this great hymn. Just fill in the numbered blanks with your choice from the corresponding numbered lists, and you'll have Mad's updated, relevant, do-it-yourself America the Beautiful. $1.50 a gallon gas. I wish. Nukes, crime, and disco. That's like something to strive for in these troubled times, but I understand that in the 70s or early 80s, I guess, that was not a fun thing. Oh, beautiful for Nixon's lies. Hey, you guys know I'm a Nixon fan. I think he was mistreated by the intelligence community, and yeah, I just have to say that in his defense. For snorting bad cocaine, for nuclear catastrophes, we need like flat champagne. America, America. Sorry, I see that I was blasting out the speakers. God shed his grace on thee. We'll get our kicks from porno flicks and pray for NBC. That was beautiful. I hope somebody edits that together into just a beautiful rendition of this song. Mad's They and You book. I can't think of a more relevant to me Mad segment. I think it hit a little too close to home for me. Many self-help books today teach us that you are fine, you are great, you are wonderful. But what about all the other people in the world? Well, they, as we all know, leave a lot to be desired. They are very different from you, and you will discover shortly, as you will discover shortly, when you read Mad's They and You book. I'm zoom in on this. This is Paul Coker Jr. doing that beautiful artwork. They are a bunch of yes men. You show proper respect to superiors. They are cheap. You learn the value of thrift. They have lousy taste in clothes. You believe the inner you is more important than surface appearances. They let their kids run wild like a pack of animals. You believe in self-expression for young people. They badmouth everyone they know. You tell it like it is. They are pushy. You show assertiveness, self-assertion. Self-assertion. Jesus. Jeez Louise. Oh, did I cough something up? Jesus. They are a bunch of reactionary squares. You have a deep regard for tradition. They ruthlessly claw their way up to the top. You take advantage of every opportunity. They get drunk and embarrass everyone around them. You are the life of the party. I just thought these were so much fun. Of course, I love the illustrations. Paul Coker's a great, great artist, and his stuff is so much fun to look at. Oh, look at, they're insensitive practical jokers who have a well-rounded sense of humor. Here's that gag again I talked about a while ago with putting a match underneath somebody's shoe and lighting it. Must have been very popular for a while. And here we have another reference to Alfred E. Neuman for president. Are you spotting them all? I don't think I am. One fine day in prehistoric times. Shik, 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 shik. I missed a shika. Spoof. Fire. 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 Sploosh. Sploosh. Jeez Louise. God, they should find somebody who can read to host this. The popular movies today deal mostly with horrible, terrible, disastrous topics. Things like killer sharks, earthquakes, upside-down ships, giant apes, living dead people, and swarms of insects. All of which makes us wonder, why make movies about such unbelievable things when there are so many everyday, true-life horrors we can really relate to? Let us develop this absurd premise for you with these horror movies based on everyday disasters. Suddenly, your peace and quiet is shattered by the invasion of the transistor people. Don't try to escape. They won't let you. Now, for those young people in the audience, a transistor was a small radio. It was a small radio, and they would come with like little earbuds, but it was only AM radio because, I don't know, it was easier to pick up. AM radio frequencies travel very far. They aren't very powerful, but that's the thing is like because they're not very powerful, they can, the way like frequencies work is that like something that a very high frequency is very strong but travels a very short distance, but a low frequency is very weak but travels a strong distance, and this is true of like any wave basically. Light works this way. Yeah, that's why like, you know, white light versus red light. Red light travels not as far or farther. I don't know. Who knows? If you're a scientist, please chime in the comments and tell me how light works. Here we have the long gas line. I don't know. What the hell? They came from the IRS. This is a constant source of fear and horror for years and years. Oh, you know what? This is the one I wanted to talk about. It disappeared into space, never to return. The lost filling, the most deadly kind of fallout. Now, I think last week's I looked at one of these, and they take the celebrities' names and alter them to fit in it. And this one is starring, instead of Dick Cavett, it's Dick Cavity. But Dick Cavity sounds like a hole in your. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, I just thought that was a pretty fun one. On hold. These are awesome. I love the artwork for these too. Death of a picture tube. Sony Bono, G.E. Marshall, Sylvania Mangiano, Anna Magnavox, Zenith Bethune. It's great. I love those. I love those old movie posters because I like those old movies and old movie posters generally. So when they make fun of them, it's especially fun. Here is Harry North Esquire has a few things in this issue, and I love Harry North Esquire. I don't, I didn't read this one. I'm going to be honest. Um, I just looked at the pictures. There's too many words. Are you kidding me? Like how can somebody be expected to read this much in a magazine? I come to magazines for the pictures, not for the words. The poor writers, they get no respect. I respect them. Here we go. We'll look at this at old Big Nose, Barbara Streisand. Anatomical Parts Insurance Company of Beverly Hills hereby issues nose insurance to Barbara Streisand Babs. Policy date May 25th, 1967. Explanation of coverage. This policy provides guaranteed indemnities in the event of damage or injury to and illness or theft of the insured's famous physical trademark and logo, her proboscis, also known as her nose, schnoz, magnificent beak, horn of plenty, fresh air exchanger, pollen catcher, great honker, facial divide, son of Durante, and port of 1,000 sneezes. Addendum. This policy shall hereby provide double indemnity in the event that the nose is forcibly fixed, bobbed, or straightened without explicit consent in writing by the insured. Nasal hair contingency. Due to the extraordinary value of the aforementioned nose, associated nasal hairs shall be included in this coverage pursuant to an accurate inventory of the individual hairs by Price Waterhouse Independent Accountants. I don't know. Is that funny? Is it funny? I don't know. This is funny. More legendary wire hangers. Artist Bob Clark, writer Paul Peter Porges with John Rios. I don't know that. Here we have Ahab's wire hanger. I didn't read Moby Dick, so I don't get that one. Venus de Milo, she's got no arms, so she doesn't need that part of the hanger. Oh, she's a vest gal. Houdini's wire hanger. This is, honestly, this reads more like a Max Brandel thing than a Paul Peter Porges. I like it. Anyway, Superman's wire hanger. Oh, is that for, wait, why is it dashed? Is that for his little cape? Twiggy's wire hanger. Oh, two things. One, Alexander Calder's wire hanger. And then we have Vote Mad wire hanger. Calder is a famous sculptor, and he would do these mobiles, and they would have like these kind of colorful little shapes on each end. And some of them were large, some of them were small. They were neat though. They were pretty cool, I think. Yeah, there's King David's wire hanger. Little Jack Horner set. It's a corner hanger. Then we have Confucius. Is that a joke about his posture? I don't really understand. I like that Dean Martin one. That's a fun one. Cheops? Who the hell is Cheop? Gloria Steinem's wire hanger. Humpty Dumpty's wire hanger. Because the Siamese twins. And Liberace. Some of these, they don't even make, they don't, because I guess his clothes are like half an egg shape. But, my clothes hanger isn't human shaped. So why would an eggs hanger be egg shaped? One fine day in the Middle Ages. I can't stand it. I've been hanging here with Alfred E. Neuman for president. Without mercy of change of scenery for 20 years. Help me, please. Sure thing, pal. Zips him around. And then here we have the Mad Soccer Primer. Or is it Primer? Apparently, there's a whole debate whether it's primer or primer. In the UK, they call it a primer. In the United States, they call it a primer. And that whole thing just seems backwards to me. Primer seems like it would be more British. Primer seems like it would be more American. Oop, Vote Mad. Kyle Bridget pointed out that I always talk about these, and whenever I talk about liking the Mad Primer, the only one I reference is the one that Wally Wood did, which is the Mad Primer on monsters. Um, so I guess maybe that means that I don't like the Mad Primer. It's one of the longest running gags in Mad Magazine, um, which is shocking. I find it shocking because I think it stopped being very relatable or relevant. Maybe around this time, I don't know. Maybe the 90s, 1990. It must have stopped being relevant. Here we have the mad look at skating, getting closer and closer to the signature look of a mad look at. These are always, I think it's always fun to look at these old ones because it's obvious what it is, but also it doesn't look quite the same as what it would become ultimately. And I don't know when that change occurred, but they become more regular. Like you get fewer examples of like these one panel ones. They all seem to be between 3 to 5 at a certain point, and he's fitting a lot more every single page. These are great though. Man, he draws a great babe. No argument. Nobody can ever argue it. Inarguable. I love this. He is really, really good at just the one panel ones. I mean, I guess that's that's the marginals. Those are all one panel comics, right? They're just miniaturized. Look at this though. Look at the detail. Have you ever seen so much detail in a drawing by Sergio? He has like the reflected light, he has tire treads, he has a gauge inside, or the clock inside the dashboard. That's pretty wild. Look at this, the rendering on this. I don't know, that's fun. I like that a lot. Here we go, another Harry North Esquire thingy. Just once, wouldn't you like to? Here's some encouraging news from the government. See a cigar smoker get deathly ill from the odor of your cologne. Think of the perfect put down the minute you need it, not 2 days later. More frustratingly, the perfect comeback to me comes not 2 days later, but just a moment too late, which is, I think, worse. Here's some medical news that's right up your alley. Greasy French fries found to increase memory. But what good is the memory if you die of a heart attack? See a famous designer wearing something with your name on it. Look at, there's Jeff Klein written right there. One fine day, about 2 weeks ago. Bird calls. I don't get it. Anyway, we're going to skip past this and go on to the back cover, which I absolutely loved. This is amazing. Noah's Ark. He's like, the title is actually painted onto the ship, and they bust the champagne bottle. And then this is so much fun to look into and see all of the little details. Hopefully, my crappy camera will capture it all for you, and you too can admire this amazing George Woodbridge artwork. Look at that. Filled to the brim. And as you're watching that and admiring that, let me just say, please remember, hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That is the #1 way that you can support this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.